All right, our last one, signal or noise. Is the hype around subscription fatigue a genuine concern for SaaS leaders, or is it just background noise?
I do think it's a genuine concern. Like you, I'm out in the market from time to time talking to customers, and I hear a lot of being surprised at how many subscriptions they have, trying to reduce that number, keep understand that spend. Why is that spend such a high percentage? I thought this was supposed to increase our productivity, not cost us more. What positions am I going to eliminate if I buy this? And rarely do you see that any positions get eliminated, of course, when you buy the software. And so I do think you have to be very conscious of what am I replacing? And ideally, can I replace two or three products and make the sale on simplicity as much as cost savings or revenue improvement or whatever else your benefits might be?
Do you have a rule of thumb you look for when you're coming into a company as a percent of revenue? Maybe not for COGS, right? There's software that people are using for COGS that gets captured in your gross margin for SaaS companies. North of 85% is good, some combination of people and tech. But I'm talking about more like the internal software you're using in the operating functions. So sales, marketing, R&D. Do you have a rule of thumb?
Yeah, and of course, I think that's industry dependent. But in the SaaS world, we're technology companies. We should be leveraging the latest and greatest. And it doesn't surprise me to see a company spending 3 or maybe 5%. If it gets much north of that, the board might take an eye and go, that looks a little high to us, unless there's some really special thing you're doing in the software area. But certainly a significant percentage. And this is, again, all about improving employee productivity. And so you got to look at that compared to your salary. That's the number I'm really looking at, depending on, and in most of our companies these days, salary and benefits are 70, 80% of expenses,
Yeah.
right? So it can be expressed as a percent of expenses or a percent of personnel costs is, I think, the right way to look at it.
I have heard in the industry that world class is 2 to 3% of revenue is spent on internal software. If you're coming in as a new CEO, looking at that is an area where, because it's often bought by individuals, there often is not a collective alignment around how to spend that money. And so everyone's just, oh, I'll just put it on my credit card. And
Yep.
so I do think once you get to a certain size, 100 people, 200 people, you could have 100, 150 different SaaS solutions. Everyone's, oh yeah, I'm just spend 9.99 per month on my credit card. And so it is really important to have either your CFO or your head of IT own the internal software spend, not to be draconian about it, but just to get their arms around it and say, okay, now let's find out adoption and impact. Is it really adding value? And if people can't justify it, to your point, in terms of efficiency and productivity, then cut it and see what happens. I think there's another challenge. Sometimes people buy the Porsche when a VW is good enough. And
That's right.
so do you really need to buy the premium price product, or you can get away with the VW? You just need a transportation. And so not every software you purchase needs to be the Porsche. A lot can be the VW, but if there's a specific area of expertise that you need, maybe you get one Porsche.